Was it always going to be Nas
I don't understand the question.
to be the match winner for you after that massive comeback?
Yeah, look, he played incredibly well. We moved him in and out of the midfield, so it was obviously his last quarter was pretty special. I thought his first quarter was pretty good. But yeah, there's a lot of contributors. We're not as strongest link game. It's really important. I thought Hall, the midfield mix changed, certainly had Naz in there, Windy. Hall, Naz, Windy, Boxall to wing, those sort of things, Hunter to half-back. So, but everyone lifted, to be fair. Because, Naz has played some great games this year without everyone lifting, and it makes it really difficult. So, but again, to be fair, do you see that coming? Probably not that, but there was just, we're very young in defence early, Schoenmaker, Taru, Hasty, and we pushed Caminiti forward. So, I think they had 5 entries, kicked 4 goals right at the start. So it just makes it hard. It's a little bit deflating. So to keep your spirit, in the end, we problem solved enough. We thought we stopped the bleeding in the second. Had our moment. We're not thrilled. Our ball used just straight line, turning it over, dumping it out from D50 stoppage. So we understand the system issues, but the spirit remained pretty good. In the end, players and coaches problem solved enough to eradicate those. I see Michael Gardner in the rooms. He's like, I'm texting Reward at half time, tell him to stop kicking it down the line. So it was pretty obvious. So we found a solution.
Was breaking the tag to put Maxwell on the ball in the last quarter a kind of sign that you wanted to throw the shackles off and just attack the game as much as you could?
Well, we always want to attack the game. There's no more attacking team than Geelong, and Mullins tags and O'Connor tags. So, I think you can do it, but I think to say they're mutually exclusive would be not factually correct. But it's certainly enabled. Well, Naz was always in there. Hall was in there, and Windhager was in there at the start, wasn't he? Oh, no, he wasn't. No, I can't remember who the third mix was. So, yeah, I think it's a part of giving you a different mix. There's no doubt about that. So, and then when you're coming from behind, as our coach taught me, you've got to do everything right and you've got to take your opportunities. And clearly we did that, didn't we? I think we've created history, haven't we?
Ross, I know you're a coach and you're focusing on trying to win the game, and there's
a father.
Lots of things going on. Is there any moment during that you're able to enjoy it though? We saw the big
at
smile
the end,
when Nasiah took that.
Yeah. Look, underneath the exterior, I can get emotional. So I was a little bit watery when Naz took the mark. I think it's just that emotion of, just for the players, just for them. I think you get emotional because, there's a lot of young teams and we're all working and we'll come up against the Kangaroos next week that are young. And look, it's a tough space. I was asked pre-game, how's your coach? I said, well, when you've built our capability like the Saints 9 and 10 and the Dockers, you can go a bit harder and you can demand a little bit more, but there's a lot of nurturing when you're trying to build our capability. I feel like I did it 16, 17, 18 and 19 at the Dockers, and it was hard, but, I've got great relationships with some of those young players, and hopefully I'm building that here. So for them to get reward, I think our last 5 weeks has been really, really solid because it's easily got 1 or 2 others. So it just gives us a fillip. That word gets thrown around, confidence, but you get confidence from quarters and performances like that. So our young players never gave up and our leaders never gave up, and they found a way. That, and then how the brain works, right? There's the dopamine release of the rewards that are automatic, like kicking goals. So the scoreboard gives you that natural enthusiasm, but, the deliberate brain can, make choices to keep rewarding efforts that aren't obvious to everybody. So clearly our group did that, and in the end they started to get that automatic reward, which just, you saw it, you saw that with GWS, didn't you, after half time there. It just sort of builds and builds and it pops like a souffle, right? So I'm really pleased for the players.
Sorry, that final centre bounce with the long delay before it for the 666. Did you have any? Were you able to get any messaging? Were you able to get any messaging?
It's quite funny, really.
Yeah, it might have been close to a minute. Were we able to get any messaging out from the box to the players on the
No,
field?
you're not allowed to
They-
send anyone on.
Yeah, so
We've
there
been
wasn't...
new to from 2 minutes in, not let us send a message. How many messages we get a quarter? 4 outside of goals. So that's why senior on-field leadership's never been more paramount. And then your education, and some of the media types don't like to hear it, but when you're a young group, you're trying to build out basics, let alone game scenarios. So again, Naz was instrumental, him and Rowe. They said, get the forwards to one side, I'm going to dart there, and that's what they did.
Is that as impressive as anything else? Just the way that he managed to get himself into a position to actually win it for you?
Well, Rowe kicked it to him, so he got to execute. Yeah, so no, it was really, really pleasing. Yeah, it was really exciting. But at the end of the day, it's 4 points, create a bit of history, get a bit of belief, and we all get together. We're trying to build out the mortar of the club. We've got a family function at a hotel. We're all getting there, and so we'll enjoy each other's company. And but the same kind of reality is 24 hours later you're preparing, and it just keeps coming at you. But that's the business. But we did talk about the joy at half time of playing footy. Like, don't let it get you down. Like, as a kid, like, you'd love to be here. So let's just dive into that space. That's what we spoke about a bit.
Can we just
Just
ask
the joy of playing football, let alone AFL football.
Can we just ask one more about Nasiah? Obviously, there's been a lot of scrutiny and a lot of talk around him all season. How impressive
Is it scrutiny?
However you want to word it.
There's
been a lot of headlines about him all year about his future, and how impressive is it that he's just been able to constantly perform and even go to another level today?
Well, it's clearly impressive. And I think that's why he's so exciting. He just keeps improving. He played with his thigh. He had an injection this morning. There was a chance he wasn't going to play. But his mantra is use no excuse, and on the pitch just get it done. So he'll get tagged more heavily. We'll support him more. But that growth mindset is what we're about. So I feel like the whole club and the coaching staff, but Nasiah's done it, but there's been a lot of support for him within the club. Young player come into state. So it just talks to senior players like Mason Wood. Terry Malira played for the Saints, and Tony Brown, when he was homesick, they were instrumental at nursing him through. And then, that young group of Owens and Windhager and all that are all working together. So, and Brad Hill is a senior figure in the First Nations space. So we're trying to get better everywhere, to be honest. So we're far from the finished product as a club and a football department, but there's some signs, But he's pretty special, we know that. And we'll do everything within our power to keep him.
You said there's a chance he might not play. When did you make a call that he would play, and how close did it get?
I didn't have to sleep in this morning, got up, make him a coffee. I see 4 missed calls from the doctor. Experience tells me this can't be good. That's how I answered the phone. Yes, dog. And he said, Naz has come in, upped his antibiotics, given him an injection. I mean, they can sound quite morbid at times, the doctors. So and then I just said, how Naz? He's pretty confident. And then I rang him. He goes, no, I'll be right. So, but I just said, if you're not right, no pressure, we'll tap you out. So just let us know. So it was a good story.